Okay, I should be live. I just want to give it a minute before I start. Get some kind of a identification that it's working. All right, testing. Get some kind of a identification that it's working. Audio good. Hello. Okay. So this is the first installment of what's going to be an ongoing effort on my part to show up on a consistent basis throughout the week and break down the markets as they continue their journeys up or down. I'm doing this as a personal documentation to myself. I'm doing this as an ongoing journal that I can look back on and that I can also reaffirm the things that I'm interpreting on the charts to myself, and also with the intention and the hopes that I can part with some insights and perspectives of the markets that may have not been seen or discovered by any viewers. So the way I'm going to do this is do a quick update of my portfolio of some of the holdings. Then I'm going to go into the equities and I'm going to break down the day trading side of things. I'll move over into FX. Then I'll hit the crypto market from a higher time frame perspective after that. I hybrid trade swing trading and day trading, so at the same time I'll be looking at it, but for the purpose of this live stream I'm not going to go build a swing trading watch list. I have an error on my screen. What is this? The stream is what? The stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended bitrate. Give me a second. Can you check again, please? I'm just getting my partner to check the stream. I have an error. I have a warning. I don't know what this warning means. Alright, she says it's fine, so I'm going to continue. I'm just going to close that. And we have 2 comments. Chat. So I'm going to... How can I do this? Can I move it to the side? There we go. That's perfect. Look at that. That's brilliant. So now I have the chat. I wonder if I can do this to show. So I have the chat, and I have the chat and the control panel. So that's good. What she's saying, it's delayed from when you message, but it's fine. I can see and hear you. Good stuff. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to begin firstly with the portfolio. It's quite quiet at the moment. I'm just waiting on equities to pull back to add to the longer term spot positions. But crypto, I'm also slowly building a new position at these lows after the recent retracements across the board, after the momentous rally that Bitcoin and Ethereum have been on over the past few weeks. So just to quickly brief, what I'll be doing is jumping over to the spot holding layout and just quickly run through each of the positions of the coins that I'm holding. Just to preface, this is by no means me telling you that I think you should get in. Rather, this is just where I'm personally situating and beginning the positions, beginning the building of the positions. This is not financial advice. So Algo USD, huge upside potential across all of these altcoins, and I'm not going to go into the upside projections just yet because they are quite long-winded. However, from a bit more of a shorter term perspective, I find that funny that I'm mentioning that on a weekly time frame, but we did have this huge rally up into 30 cents, which was this recent resistance area over here. And it was a nice spot to add to the position on this retracement back into support. Price ripped up into the 30-cent region, and now we're revisiting the lows of this range. Now, what I really like about this entry down here as position 1 is that we're in a very discounted area of the market, but we're also sat on really solid support, governed by this liquidity band over here on the left hand side. So price made this low, and this acted as really nice support back in January of this year, and now we're back in that same region, just consolidating and chopping around. So as for position 1, this is the first position for entry. I'm not really interested in any more buys around here. I want to see price come down into new lows. However, as the market moves against me, I'll be looking to add to my position. Probably down on the quarters, just because I want to slowly bring my average price down. But in terms of a level-to-level perspective, I'm expecting price to come revisit this 12 cents to 10 cents range. So down here at these 2023 lows is really ideal for that longer term position to be, for the accumulation and for the long term to really be built. You know, after it came up and revisited these highs, rejected that swing failure at around 30 cents. There's a lot to suggest that price can continue now coming back down into new lows after failing to breach higher. AXS is another one with ridiculous upside, and I'm positioned in a very, very similar price point relative to each of the different assets in the market. It's these recent 2022 to 2023 switchover at the back end of that big decline that set the tone that we've been hovering around for the last year and a half. So now what I am looking for is for price to just continue consolidating here for a little while, but it's the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder as this inverse head and shoulders that I really like. The one thing that does indicate to me that I'm expecting price to head lower before it continues higher is that we already had this higher low, and now we're trading back down at that recent high swing low, which technically is still bullish until we break. However, I've lost a little bit of conviction for that massive upside run, but I am positioned in accordance to that actually playing out and hitting those highs up at around $20. That being said, in very similar stance with algo, is this huge support region here mapped from the liquidity band that I've dragged across that acted as really nice support, broke as resistance, back above as support, and we're back here holding a support with multiple weeks of consolidation, just indicating to me that the sellers are trying to push this market down, but there's too much buying pressure beneath this huge support region for it to go any lower and find any acceptance below. So personally, I'm situated for the expectation that price can rip from $6.50 up into $20. It's a really nice return. But if price does dip lower and finds acceptance below this region here, then it's just going to be the same story with algo, where I'm looking for those recent lows to be revisited sub $5, build even bigger of a position, and then we can look to take these range lows back up into the highs. If not, we can also see that we've got this trend line coming down from here. We could very, very easily form these new lows into the lower lows down between $3 and lower, which is just the upside to buying something like that is just astronomical. And that's why I'm slowly building a position as we start to head down into that discounted region. CRV curve, very similar story, but this one even more so than algo and AXS. Just on the weekly time frame, these lows from 2022 are holding miraculously. I'm really liking the price action that I'm seeing, and I've also got the additional confluence of this wedge, this descending wedge that's holding beautifully here. So if I get rid of this region and I just throw on this supportive level as a horizontal, map it to the wick, this is looking really good for, you know, a move to the upside. We can throw in the 0 as well just to get that risk to reward in. One way that I do like to visualize the risk to reward when it comes to crypto is just throwing on the risk to reward tool, mapping this to 0, because that's ultimately where we're going to be holding down to if we do head to drawdown. And we've got 228% to the highs from entry. And then even if we were to push that up to, say, first target at the left shoulder, we're getting into the 700%. And then upside target for the all-time highs, that's 1300. That's wild. So it's when you can visualize it with the risk to reward tool on that I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to take that risk at these levels of the market where it's justified and the payout is huge relative to the risk and the downside. Just to go on a bit of a tangent, if we look at that same concept with BTC, if you were to say, for example, buy at that consolidation at 40K, yeah, you would have paid off and it would have been fine and you would have made money, but you're risking a full 100% of your capital down to 0 for the expectation of you making half of that. And this is the problem with these people that are entering into the market that don't really know what they're doing and don't have any concept of risk to reward, that are buying at the highs, risking so much to make so little, and it's so backwards and so skewed. It's these lows down here at 15K when no one wanted to jump in, that's where the real risk to reward was offered. I personally didn't get into any of this move. I'm looking to position myself here with the same expectations that this will occur on the altcoins. I'm just not willing to take that risk on Bitcoin personally. So moving over to Filecoin, I do like that, and I'm going to keep adding these 0 levels in as I go. Very similar to Algo, we've got that support from 2022 that's been dragged across, that's been holding within this range here, and we're now down at that supportive region. So not as good of an entry as CRV alongside Algo and AXS, but very decent in the sense that, again, the risk to reward is so justified. Just imagine that risk to reward tool there and then taking that to the highs. Like it's insane. It's absolutely fucking wild. So I'm just slowly building these positions at these lows where we're not at the highs of these recent pumps. That was times for distribution, but we are discounted at that first area of interest where if we do breach, then we can come straight back down to these lows at $3 and we buy more. But if it goes from here, I'm positioned fantastically relative to where price has been in the past. So I'm just gonna have another sip. But ZEC, Zcash, very similar story to CRV, where it's just the risk to reward is far justifies and outweighs the risk because of where we're buying at. Now this one's an interesting one. If I step out to the monthly real quick, we've got these lows here that have just quite not been breached. They don't have to be breached, but I'm confident that they will get breached. So what I've done is I've positioned myself for the expectation that they won't, but we're also going to have some orders sat below these lows ready to take us in as it breaches $18. I like the psychological $20 barrier that we're currently at, and that's roughly where my bid was. However, it's just one of those ones where it's probably going to continue consolidating and chopping around here for a little while, make some new lows, and then we get that nice big rally after price really squeezes around in this. So one to note, one to look for. I like the discounted area that I'm buying at. I'm just going to try and do my best to build as big of a position at the bottom of these markets as I possibly can. I took a US oil position last week for a slight loss, but I'm not going to cover that here. I might record and upload that trade recap on the maybe later on or tomorrow. I did record it, but it went on to TradingView and I couldn't download it. So done with the spot holds. Done with the spot holds. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into the day trading layout. I'm conflicted and I'm always backwards and forwards between Trinity or the 6 chart layout. I guess this is Trinity and this is hex trading or hexadecimal. I don't know. I like to name my charts for the different purposes they have. So as above, so below, the Hermetic axiom. As above for the higher time frames, and so below is the day trading. So I want to quickly see what this stream looks like from my phone. So bear with. It's the first time I've ever done this. That's fine. Can I hear myself? I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to take that risk at these levels of the market. Yeah, fuck yeah. We like that. Where it's justified and the payout is huge. All right, cool. So moving on to FX, I'm going to go a little bit quiet because I'm not going to go break down each individual asset and what I'm looking to trade. I'm simply going to be building a watch list now to take into the next few days. So Aussie dollar. Let's start with the biscuit at the moment. So you can probably expect some pound weakness. You probably expect some pound weakness if this resistance holds. No real confirmation to it just yet. DXY probably going to fall down into all of this again. Maybe hold a support and give a little bit of a push to the upside. I don't like where we are on these higher time frames. It's just very range bound. I can see price pushing back up into 107.5, but yeah, the downside's a bit shocking too. So we're just very range bound on the Dixie. But I think we could probably get a nice short from these highs. It's just a bit choppy and a bit messy at the moment. Yeah, I like that. I think we could look for some dollar strength. I'm going to come back to swing trading and look for these higher time frame areas, and then I'll dig to the lower time frames. So Aussie 200, equities, FX, crypto. This should be a nice breakout of Aussie 200 to the upside. We're back above that daily 50 EMA too. You do it to that one. There. That's clean. That could be a nice little entry in itself for those longer term buys, those longer term holds. But from a day trading perspective, there's nothing really ready. If I go backwards and forwards, it's because they're doing different things. This is the swing trading. For argument's sake and for ease, though, I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm just going to stick between the swing trading and the day trading here, and so I can get a whole overview and a glance of what I'm seeing. So that's the daily 50 and the weekly 50. The red one is the chart, 50 EMA, and the orange is the preceding high time frame, exponential moving average. So let's start this again. Germany 30. I would like to see this overextended run pull back down into this region here. But I don't like how little room there is to the recent highs back here. I love that there's a hell of a lot of room to the 4-hour 50. But I don't like how price is pulled back into that 1-hour 50. I think I would prefer to see some kind of a double top I'm going to add it to the watch list because it may shape up in the next few days, and I do like it. JPN 225. This was a really good looking short that I wanted to get into, but I just don't really like how choppy this has become now. So personally, I've lost interest in the position, but I do very much see this declining down into that weekly 50 EMA. That's the next place. Unfortunately, there's no position there. This is neat. I like the NAS. I do like the NAS a lot for a nice short. This is looking even better than Aussie 200. I want to see price push back up a little bit higher, squeeze a little more, but I mean, this is almost even looking ready. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we don't make it up to these regions there, because we're starting to squeeze here. Very nice. We like that a lot. So we're going to flag that. Not ready yet, but we've got that double top. S&P. Shooting star tweezers. Just getting very close to these highs now, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I guess you could really throw that anywhere, but that's a really clean level. This is looking fantastic for tomorrow. Boom. It's a bit steep. I'm not a fan of that, but if we take out these lows, game on down to the 4-hour 50. So I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm just going to map that. I think that's just going to keep it nice and clean. S&P 500, let's add that to the watch list. UK 100 without a doubt. This is wild. That's wild. Look at that overextended daily. Big room to the 4-hour 50. 1 hour, lower high, lower low. Just want to see these lows break. Just want to see these lows break, and then we'll be in. Very similar story with US 30. It's not really any place to be drawing these levels. I'm kind of pulling them out from anywhere I can. But daily overextended, room to the 4-hour 50. Nice. Just something like this to show that that change of trend to the downside. Pending entry, US 30 short, and now onto commodities. So US oil, I've really liked this position, this level, but I took my initial positions here on these tweezer bottoms, looking to run that into the 4-hour 50, liquidates, and then runs to the 4-hour 50, and it continues its descent. But that was unfortunate. These things happen, but daily support, I do like that. I don't like how tight that weekly 50 is, but you win some, you lose some. Bit too choppy now for me personally. I'm not really too keen on it. I'd be looking for maybe some shorts from the retest of the underside of that daily 50, but even then with the weekly 50 there, I'd be a little bit skeptical. So just needs a bit more development on the US oil. Same with the UK oil. Nothing really, it's just a bit choppy. They were mixed up, by the way, UK to US oil. Gold, silver. Daily shooting star, room to the 4-hour 50, but I don't like this. I don't like that at all. We've just hit that 1-hour 50 and just held, and then if it were to break retest, there's just no room to that 4-hour 50. So unfortunately, this is not really one I want to be looking at. Maybe if it comes back to the double top, but until then, no. This is nice. I do like this. What do we got? It's a bit deep for me though. It's a bit deep of a pullback. We're also now back below that 1 hour 50. So I think there's definitely justification for a bid, but it just doesn't quite fit. It just doesn't quite fit. Doesn't quite fit, but it's definitely justification for that. All right, moving on to Forex, to FX. I've already done the Bixie. Bearish momentum. I'm looking for the Dixie to hold. I don't have a name for the JXY, but the Japanese index. I thought these lows were going to hold, but they didn't snap straight through. That's that was unfortunate to see, but we're revisiting as resistance, and now we're just pushing down. So just bearish on the yens. All right, Aussie dollar. I'm not a fan of how this has been moving the last few months. I do like this region here, but 66.5, but I don't like how much consolidation there is now, and I don't like how much congestion there is in this area. There's no longevity to any of these shorts, and I wouldn't be looking for a bid unless it broke and retested above that level. And with the dollar sat on support, this has got a decent case to head lower. So euro dollar, I do really like this, but it's just a little bit congested for me again around that region here. Break, retest that daily 50 and the support. These few candles would have been fantastic for shorts back down into the lows, but it just didn't materialize. It just didn't give me what I wanted. Pardon me. Didn't do what I wanted it to do, so there was no position, but potentially a shorts from these 4-hour highs, but even then straight back down to that daily 50. And then by the time that these lows break, positions on game time, but it would just be quite long-winded. I would consider a position if these lows broke, but I'm not going to flag it because I don't like it, but I will be aware of it, and there's no chance for a 1 hour break and retest either. Same story with GBP USD. It's just so congested in these areas here. I do like this head and shoulders, but I didn't like the short originally because it was just sat on these lows. It just sat on those lows, so there was just no longevity. It's just in a sideways range. Kiwi dollar, similar story. Nice area, but just congested now. Maybe the breakout of that 4 hour. Squeezing up into here, maybe a breakout for the 4 hour 50, but nothing yet. USD CAD, Dixie on support, congestion, consolidation. Even if it comes down, you're trading straight back up into that consolidation. Nah. There's nothing to buy. There's nothing to bid. There's nothing to bid until it pulls back down into here. So dollar Swiss. I think it just needs some more time, but I don't think there's anything for me there. I do like the yens. I do like that they're pulling back on this lower high. They may just revisit these bodies. And that's the short position. That's the trigger. But until then, it's just not where I wanted it to be. So this one's close. So I'll flag Aussie Yen, but it's not ready yet. CAD JPY. Nope. Swiss Yen's close. Not really though. Euro JPY is definitely close. We'll flag that one. Not ready for tomorrow, but getting there. Nope. Just these. There we go. That's what I want. I want that separation between that 4 hour and that 1 hour 50 EMA. So down here, I want to see separation between these two because that gives me risk to reward. I want to see these lows break. Ew. Ew. It's coming back up for that secondary retest, but it's just a bit messy. Potentially a short, but not tomorrow, not for a few days, no chance for a bid. I like the area, but I don't like the congestion. Again, just this congestion, that's just a very common theme of this video. The markets right now are just very congested, I'm feeling, and I don't want to get into congestion. I don't want to get caught up into congestion. Do we have a bid on Euro Swiss? Maybe. There's justification, but it's just not for me. Choppy. Sideways. It's literally flat. I have no business in that market. I don't mind this, but I just don't like this sideways. I don't like that we've not cleared these lows, and I don't like how little room there is to that 4 hour 50, my target. There's just no justification for it. There's just no justification for the position. Even though the daily looks fine, messy but fine, the intradays just do not. You're a Kiwi on the side of this range. I would only look to be shorting this. And again, it's just congested and choppy sideways. Back up into that weekly 50. Not a huge fan of, but I would be willing to overlook that for a good setup, but we just don't have that. Trend definitely changed. Back above that that 1 hour 50, up into the 4 hour 50, but it's just no longevity, and it's just sideways. It's just you playing with fire. Same with GBP CAD, like you're just playing with fire, trying to guess left or right. I could. It's a stretch. It's a stretch. It is a valid position. It's a valid position, and that is all I'm really going to say about it, because it's valid, but I just don't like it because that. Yes, it's got the bullish engulfing closing in a few hours. Yes, we have the higher high back above that 4 hour 50 after rejecting the daily support. But you're just trading up into this. You're just trading straight into that. And it's just like, what's to say that the next day it's just not going to just fall straight through after we've had this lower high, so to speak. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Technically, the position's there with the break and retest, the 4 hour and the 1 hour 50. But to what cost? But to what cost? Pound Swiss. See, this is something a little more I could get behind, but still nothing of substance. Daily support, that's okay. Alright, here we go. This is finally something that we can potentially work with. Map these highs. It's running a little bit. It's not terrible. There we go. I can get with something like that. I can definitely get with something like this. Higher high. After holding support, breakout. There we go. This is potentially something we can work with. I'll dig into that in a little bit, and we'll mark that one as blue because it's ready. Pound Kiwi on the side of that daily 50. Nah, it's just climbing, bit choppy. Gross. I did like Aussie CAD, but There's not much going for it now. There's no room to run, and it's just sideways. It's just sideways, but if we can clear these lows, yeah, game on maybe. Game on down at daily 50. I really like how much room there is to that daily 50. There we go. This is definitely something to work with. I don't mind it. It's not the cleanest, but it is a CAD pair, and if we get that trend change, then we might have something to work with. But Aussie Kiwi, we're definitely below. We're definitely below these regions, but again, to what cost? I like it. I did like it a lot, but it's just sideways, so there's no conviction. This false breakout here just looks a bit too messy for anything, and there's no daily, nothing on the daily. This for a short was okay, but now it's just too choppy. Too choppy. Straight into the weekly 50, no room to the daily 50. Yes, we have the double top. Yes, we have technically a bearish engulfing. Choppy 4 hour breakout straight back up into that range, just dead sideways, no conviction. And the 1 hour reflects that. Kiwi Swiss. I think we'll do it from that one. If we push up a little bit, I could definitely get with a short, but that's a few days away and it's quite choppy, so I'm not going to flag it. But that is all. I might quickly just run through and see if I can get any swing trades. I'm going to be quiet for this one, though. You could argue there's a short on pound dollar. Short on cable. Break and retest that weekly 50 on the top right. But it's just a bit sideways now on the daily. It's a nice weekly. It's a nice weekly time frame. That could easily come down. But there's just nothing to... Ooh, it's this one. Just on top of that 4 hour 50 though, and straight into that congestion. It's unfortunate, and yes, it's Aussie Kiwi, but then you're straight into that daily support too. So unfortunately, no, but it would have been one of those nice ones if it was just a little bit cleaner. I would have been in. Nothing really else. All right. Well, before I go do my watch list, let me just run through a couple of these. Bitcoin. Yeah, nice rally, but bearish engulfing is horrific. That is horrific. At some point, it's going to come all the way back down to 40K. Easily, no questions asked. 40K. And then obviously first is around that 50K region, which is that weekly 50, which we like. But hanging on by a thread, really. This support in this region here, after we found those new lows, we're just not coming back above. It is just not able to reclaim anything. So I'm looking for that to come down lower. There's no positions for me, but I'm looking for it to come down. Similar story to ETH. Just come down slowly into that weekly 50 at around 25, 26. And then XRP has just been a bit slow for a while. But now that we're back below this region and below that weekly 50, I can justify those sub 20 cents again. Sub 20 cents. I'll have a bag waiting down there for the rainy day. Algo CSPR. CSPR is decent. I don't mind that, but it's just not my exchange. I'm not going to go through any of these to be fair. Actually, I'm not going to break any of these down. I think they're a bit choppy, a bit sideways, and it's not really what I want to talk about at the moment. So, let me go do the watch list for this week. So we have 11 potentials. And we have 2 that are ready for tomorrow. So by default, the ready ones go to secondary and the red ones go to the development. And then I promote the ones that are ready. So I don't know why I flagged UK oil, because that's not ready and I didn't like that. So that shouldn't be flagged. That was an error. Go away. Pound Swiss is really the only one, and I don't mind it. I think there's definitely a justification for the position. So starting off on the daily time frame, where can we map this to? It doesn't need to be that whole fucking body. There's not really anywhere that you can map it. What I will do is that. That's gonna be it. Horizontal, bang, Control C, 4 hour. All right, so daily time frame, big bullish engulfing off that support. Didn't quite reach that daily 50 EMA. Not the end of the world, but I would have liked it. Would have been a nice additional confluence, but I like the momentum coming in. 4 hour time frame, triple bottom support. We like that. New higher high. We like that. Just nice little breakout, nothing too crazy. Now what I'm looking for is just a retracement back down into that 4 hour 50 EMA to take that back up into the highs. The 1 hour time frame is probably the best suited for this, and I just don't want to see price move any further away. I think if price pulls back, these EMAs will collapse. That's what we like. We'll execute just around here. Stops could potentially be below that 61.8, but that would be a little bit gnarly. So I'll probably just look for behind the 0.75. Just a quick tag me in, back to the highs. And if it really pushes, then we can look to run. But I don't personally see a whole lot. And the reason I say that is just because we didn't hit that daily 50 EMA and we're trading straight up into this huge congestion area here. So probably not too much more than just a quick 1-to-1, but I do like it. I do like it. That's all I'm going to say. Kiwi CAD, no. If that was flagged, it was flagged incorrectly. Euro dollar just needs some more time to sort its shit out, really. For short, I really like these. So here we go. So now what I'm going to do is these need development. I wish I had maybe like a primary development, because these ones would be promoted. So maybe I'll do this actually. Maybe I'll do this is I'll actually put them up. I'm looking at all the equities. Like, they're not ready, but they're looking really good. So this one's good, and this one's on the primary. Secondary watch is the equities, the shorts. I really like these. These are really clean, especially UK 100, and that's that's a long shot for me to say. So I'm just looking, they're all overextended. They're all getting the nice candle formations. They've all got room to the 4 hour 50. I'm just looking for price to come back down into the lows of the 4 hour EMA, the 4 hour 50. Aussie Swiss just needs some more time, but I'm liking how it's squeezing maybe in the next couple of days. Similar story to Aussie JPY and Euro JPY. Just want to hit these recent highs and then look for that 1 hour break and retest short. Euro dollar and pound dollar much the same, but more so euro dollar because pound dollar is not on my list. Just want to see it the consolidation is just very congested around this area, so probably no trade, but one to watch because I like the area. And then Kiwi Yen, I do like Kiwi Yen. It's probably my favorite. So this one's going to go up into the secondary too. So that's really it. Oh, I guess one thing I will do is throw Engine on the watch list as a spot. No, that's ASR. Spot. Yeah. Watch list. And throw this at the accumulation. The reason I say that is because once it hits this weekly support, I'm buying Engine once it hits these lows. Yes, it's technically where the others are, but I like these lows here, and we have quite a lot of room. This risk reward isn't as good unless you get to below 20 cents. I say that with a fucking 4,000% ROI to the highs from current market, almost current market. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up now because I've been talking for about 45 minutes. I built my watch list. I built the watch list for tomorrow, broken down a couple of the cryptos that I'm holding, and I'm looking for more. If you are here at this point in the video, thank you. This is the first live stream. I'm going to look to do this a bit more often. At the moment, Monday nights, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I think are going to be my days. And I'm going to throw in a weekly Wednesday presentation style video in the middle, which is going to be a bit more of an educational format. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.